One of the legends in NASCAR, Denny Hamlin, has come out with a shocking announcement. The 42-year-old Joe Gibbs Racing driver is one of the most hated drivers and also one of the least popular ones in the media, but with what he said, he has probably touched the hearts of many NASCAR fans out there. It seems like we are seeing the last days of Hamlin, and we are led to believe this not only by his statement but also by the recent actions of JGR owner Joe Gibbs. As you probably know by now, Joe Gibbs Racing has gotten rid of Kyle Busch, and one of the main reasons that they opted out for this move is due to the withdrawal of Mars Incorporated, the main sponsor behind Busch's name. Joe Gibbs didn't even blink when it came to cutting a deal with the guy who drove 15 years for them and won 2 championships in 2015 and 2019. A similar fate is waiting for Denny Hamlin, and here's why. Denny is entering his 19th year with Joe Gibbs Racing, and although his resume speaks for itself, he hasn't had the opportunity to hold the championship trophy, not even once, with the team that he spent 18 seasons with. He has had some impressive races and some impressive seasons as well, and the fact that he'll go down as one of the most impressive drivers to ever win a championship in the Cup Series speaks volumes about the type of driver that Hamlin is. But whether this is good or a bad decision by JGR will be discussed later in this video. Let's go over the actual facts as of now and why we believe that Hamlin's time with JGR is already numbered. The 2023 season is one that Hamlin will participate in with JGR. There have been numerous reports that the main sponsor of the team, FedEx, is going to withdraw from the team, therefore leaving Hamlin out on the dry. What's even more interesting is that there have been reports about Joe Gibbs, the owner of JGR, deliberately not wanting to prolong the contract with FedEx just so that he can get rid of Hamlin. Quite a strong move, but considering what he did to Busch, this is just a cat cough for the man who will see his grandson's debut in the Cup Series on his own team. What does Denny Hamlin have to say about this? Obviously, he doesn't want to let go so easily of things, and he plans to retire in JGR, but that may be well out of his reach unless he wants to retire in 2024. Now that he is a co-owner of 23XI Racing, one of the most controversial teams on the grid due to the presence of Bubba Wallace, Hamlin's focus could be on managing rather than driving for teams. Certainly, I have always wanted to finish my career at JGR, and I'm optimistic that that will be the case. There will be a time where my attention will be more needed as a team owner than a driver, but it's going to be on my terms and when I want it to happen, and when I think it needs to happen. But I don't foresee ownership expediting my retirement. I think that my retirement will be a totally independent decision regardless of where we're at with the race team. The 2023 season is a fix for Joe Gibbs Racing, and it will likely be the last chance for Hamlin to win a championship in his career. Rest assured that if he fails to do so, he will achieve a feat that is both good and bad at the same time, as he will go down as the most successful driver in the Cup Series to not hold the championship trophy. This just goes to prove that Hamlin is defying the normal and that championships do not speak enough when it comes to a driver's quality. It is evident that JGR doesn't want to continue working with Denny Hamlin, but is this a good or bad move for them? Obviously, they're going to miss out on a talent that has been able to advance at least to the round 8 in every year of his tenure at JGR. On a couple of occasions, he came close to winning the championship, such as in 2010, but the previous 2 seasons saw Hamlin declining a lot in his form, and now he is in the position where he has to prove that he still got it when it comes to racing for a championship. JGR is definitely a team that can provide decent machinery to win championships, as we've seen with Kyle Busch in 2015 and 2019. Tony Stewart also won championships with his team in 2002 and 2005, and Bobby Labonte started it all back in 2000. Nothing would make us happier than to see Denny Hamlin with the team's 6th championship in 2023. However, the competition is fierce and age isn't on Hamlin's side. At 42 years of age, it's always debatable whether a driver has what it takes to race in NASCAR, and that's the same case for Hamlin. However, Hamlin has something that no other JGR driver has, and that's experience and knowledge. Apart from being a championship favorite in that team, he would most likely be an excellent role model for the younger drivers, such as Ty Gibbs. Ty has a lot going on right now with his father passing away, a reckless reputation that he has to debunk in the Cup Series, and a debut on one of the strongest teams on the grid. All of this can be more than overwhelming for a 20-year-old driver, and if there is one guy out there that could help Ty find his groove, that has to be Denny Hamlin. He is a driver who won 48 races with JGR, 3 of them in the Daytona 500, 3 in the Southern 500, and 1 in the Coca-Cola 600. Obviously, the Indianapolis race remains one that Hamlin hasn't been able to fully dominate, and if this feature doesn't get in his alumni at the end of 2023, he would be kind of disappointed, to say the least. Nonetheless, Hamlin is not very popular in NASCAR, something that we've mentioned earlier in this video but haven't elaborated on fully. There have been drivers that haven't been really popular when entering a sport as well, such as Chase Elliott or Dale Earnhardt Jr., but they've been able to gain popularity once the wins started to pour in. Unfortunately for Hamlin, this hasn't been the case, as he has always remained the infamous, notorious guy in NASCAR. This is never a good thing for the team, and obviously, you want the media on your side. But the 2021 deal that Hamlin made with Michael Jordan and co-owning 23XI Racing could be the deciding factor as to why he would end his racing career sooner than expected. Bubba Wallace is one driver who has been constantly connected with controversies and reckless actions. What is bad for Hamlin is the fact that he always defended his driver, which is the right thing to do, but is never the popular thing to do either. Hamlin has also had his fair share of struggles and battles with the media, further extending his case as one of the most infamous drivers on the grid. We've seen that Hamlin hasn't enjoyed a large portion of popularity among fans as well, and if you want to find out how popular Hamlin is, just look at the merch that's being sold at every race. Hamlin is definitely one of the drivers who is selling the least amount of merchandise simply because the fans don't like him. And once he announced that he was now co-owning a team back in 2021, it became evident that his primary focus would switch from racing to owning and managing a team. One couldn't blame him for that decision, but on the other hand, one couldn't blame Joe Gibbs for not wanting to deal with Denny Hamlin anymore either. Now, firing a guy from your team is a difficult thing, and while we think that Joe Gibbs didn't show heart and emotion in how he processed and handled the situation with Kyle Busch, the fact that he searched for another alternative way to get rid of the two-time world champion says enough about this situation. If the reports are true, and if Gibbs is deliberately looking for a way out of the FedEx sponsorship, then rest assured that we've seen the last of Denny Hamlin. His focus would then be likely 100% switched to managing 23XI Racing along with Michael Jordan. But we cannot predict this as of now, and we are not 100% sure whether Hamlin would want to retire and not seek another team from 2024 beyond if he is to be sacked by Joe Gibbs Racing. Obviously, an interesting period lies ahead of JGR and Denny Hamlin, and the 2023 season will be truly crucial as to whether this relationship will continue forward. It has been an amazing 18 years entering the 19th season with the team, but obviously all things must come to an end, and we certainly hope that this end won't come prematurely for Hamlin. If there's a driver out there that deserves the championship, that has to be Hamlin, with all the wins and the impressive resume he has behind him. However, life does not always go as planned, and Denny Hamlin is a prime example of this. But what do you think about the ongoing feud between Hamlin and JGR? When will Hamlin retire? And do you like him? Let us know in the comments below. A huge thank you to our loyal subscribers here at NASCAR Culture. Your support is deeply appreciated. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell icon as you surely don't want to miss the next video. It's going to be a stunner. Until next time, racers.